motion should continue for about the next 24 hours. Now, hurricane conditions are expected in the northwest and central Bahamas. Egress, find all the different routes away from your house. So if one is crowded, you know where to go for a different exit. However, if you haven't done that, just get out any way you can. It's going to be crowded, it's going to be packed when the evacuation notices do come out. Now, let me give you the very latest that we have on Andrew, and here it is. 25.5 north, 74.1 west. That
intense storm could be historically one of the strongest storms ever to approach southern Florida in terms of a hurricane. And the satellite picture shows it very well. Very strong Hurricane Andrew drifting off to the west at 16. You can see the spinning, the counterclockwise motion of the storm, the very compact eye of the hurricane. It's diminished in its diameter, as a matter of fact, from about 11 miles earlier this morning to 8 miles, which means the storm is spinning up and the eye is getting smaller, a sign that the storm continues to intensify. It's over very warm waters, and it is expected to continue to drift off to the west and could even strengthen further before it reaches perhaps southeast Florida sometime early Monday morning. That's why the Hurricane Center has put out a hurricane warning from Vero Beach down to Dry Tortugas. Warnings. That's it for the tropics. Another update at the top of the hour, but now let's go on to the Good Morning Forecast with Vivian.
Well, thanks, Rick, and we will check on the Good Morning Forecast, starting off with the national radar. And there you see wet weather already developing in parts of Arizona, so then the grounds are saturated. Any additional moisture can only promote flooding problems. That's why the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood watch for a good part of Arizona, western New Mexico, and Utah, because as the tropical storm's moisture moves north, that means additional
islands, either Abaco or Eleuthera, but once again, this is an unconfirmed report.
Well, I would not be at all surprised that first of all, I can't imagine that we have any communication with Eleuthera at this point.
Well, we do have
moved very close to Eleuthera, and will be moving fairly close to Nassau.
We do have Ed Odell in the Bahamas on the telephone. Ed, are you there?
Yes, I am, Jerry Bryan.
You hearing the reports about the report that we've got unconfirmed of 4 fatalities there in one of the outer islands?
Actually, I've been keeping my ear to news reports here in the island, and they have so far said absolutely nothing about that. But as with Brian,
Dade and Broward areas of Florida within the next few hours. I'm Bob Sheets from the National Hurricane Center in Coral Gables, Florida.
All right, 250 miles out now. You know, we have not done this in a long time, and I suppose we should go ahead and just go over the state of the storm, with the exception of a little change in mileage. Why don't we start with the tracking map, guys, and show them that, and then we'll show a brand new satellite picture. Reducing the mileage now, according to Dr. Sheets, to 250 miles. The operative numbers here are the wind speed and the direction of movement. Wind speed at 150 miles per hour. We cannot stress enough for anybody that thinks they've been through a hurricane. This is like no other hurricane ever recorded here in a metropolitan area.
And not just Florida,
not
anywhere.
Just Florida, anywhere. There have been other hurricanes in the Pacific, but not affecting cities. On the United States coast, there have been other hurricanes.
No one has ever lived through, been through a storm like this
in a major metropolitan area. Now, in the Keys in 1935, there was a very, very severe storm that exceeded this in some ways. But this is the next one up from that. The latitude and longitude, all that tells you it is right on line with us. Again, whether I have Miami on the map there, but whether Miami is the central point of this, or whether Fort Lauderdale is, or whether North Broward or South Dade or wherever it is, we feel certain that the major impact of the storm is going to be in our viewing area here. So there is just actually those little fingers of clouds, and we'll look at the radar in a minute, but those little fingers of clouds are just approaching our coast out here. In fact, I'm wondering, on the Grove cam, can you guys go ahead and tilt up the Grove cam over there, Danny, so we can see the sky out toward the east? Just